your success is measured by the success of your teams. And that's an amazing challenge and a joy. So I just love the work, and I love the fact that I get to do this type of work. I'm grateful.
How can a set of skills lead you down the path to success? That's what we're setting out to answer on the EdUp Canada podcast. I'm your host, Michael Sangster. Join me as we unpack how leaders around the world have taken training and skills and turned that into a lasting career. Now let's learn together. Welcome back to the EdUp Canada podcast. This is our 49th episode. I'm sitting here in beautiful St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador with Lisa Lovelady from Academy Canada. And as she will always say, yes, her name is Lisa Lovelady. She always points that out to everybody. One of the nicest people in our organization across the country. Also the VP of Academic and Chief Operating Officers of Academy Canada here across Newfoundland, not just in St. John's, right? So Lisa, welcome to the EdUp Canada podcast.
Thank you so much. And you're taking my jokes away immediately. That's not fair.
It's always fair to take other people's material. I am looking out here at the beautiful St. John's working harbor, as I think most of you call it, because this is not a cruise ship harbor, although they come in once in a while. I wanted to have you on the podcast this week because not only am I here in St. John's, but also you're going to be receiving a King's Coronation Medal later today for your service to the post-secondary education sector in Canada, aren't you? Congratulations.
That is true. And thank you very much for the nomination and for making this possible on behalf of the National Association. It's an honor.
Easy choice. You're a leader in the sector and also fun. You also bring a little fun to the party, don't you? We get you and Krista together. We're never quite sure what's going to happen. Ironically, coast to coast, Canada, right? We get the Newfoundlander and we get the British Columbian, and you guys tend to get in trouble.
Yeah, that's part of you never really know what's going to happen, but it's pretty much guaranteed for a laugh. And why not work hard and have fun while we're doing it? We all have so much in common, and it's so nice to get together and enjoy each other's company, have a few laughs while we get things done.
We got a couple of questions we always ask at the end of the episode, so I'll get to those later, but I do want to jump in and just say, why are you so excited about what you do? We'll get into Academy Canada in a minute and the role you play, but why are you so excited about what you actually get to do?
It's a mandate that's easy to follow and be excited by. So everything that I do is in the service of helping others, and that makes me feel good. So that's the simple answer. I've been in education in one way or another for over 25 years, and I've always been very motivated by the work. And more recently, in the last 5 years, I've taken on greater leadership roles. So I've been fascinated by leadership and what that means. And it's no longer about your own success as an individual. Your success is measured by the success of your teams. And that's an amazing challenge and a joy. So I just love the work, and I love the fact that I get to do this type of work. I'm grateful. Yeah. I mean, it is tough. It does have its tricky bits, but I do have a lot of joy in every day.
Talk to me about a student. Is there one you remember, one that sticks with you that you know made a difference, or is it the accumulation of all of them?
It's both. So the great thing is you make connections with different individuals along the way. And then during our graduation ceremonies, convocation time, you see the whole, a lot more of the folks that you may not have had an opportunity to meet, but you can see the joy and the smiles and hear the support from the family. So it's for sure a mix. And every now and then, even though I'm not in a student-facing role anymore, our instructors do let me back into the classroom as a guest speaker from time to time. So I do still get to engage with and interact with students. And that gives me so much energy. And it's important for me to stay connected to the classroom. So I'm grateful that the instructors let me come back in and we have a good working session together. So it's an hour. What I speak to is reflected in the learning outcomes of what they're trying to achieve in the course. So I'm bringing the day-to-day of my work into the classroom, but I'm also getting the interaction with the students. So it is one of the very best things about my work that I get to do that still.
Have you had, and I hope I get a yes, a lot of colleges I get a yes to this one. Have you got an instructor who was a student yet?
Oh my goodness, an instructor who was a student, staff members who were students, one of my business partners was a student. We got it all. Absolutely.
There's a loyalty amongst the alumni. They really feel like they're a part of something, don't they?
We are a part of something truly special. And yeah, every student that's in our school could possibly be on our team as coworkers. So they're very close to joining the workforce in their chosen career. And often that intersects with either teaching in the classroom or joining our support staff team. There's lots of opportunities, and we are growing and hiring new people. And it's a special joy when you get to hire someone who is a graduate. Absolutely. And there's a lot of that.
How many campus locations now?
Campuses, yes. So we have 2 multi-program campuses in the city of St. John's. One of those buildings is mostly what you'll see is our applied learning programs. So early childhood education, massage therapy. We have our hair salon there. Our aesthetic salon is there. Paralegals, all these different types of programs that are perhaps you think more along the lines of the business world, if you will. And then on the other end of town is another multi-program campus, which spans 6 buildings. And there's a lot of our trades, construction trade shops. They're all there. Also, there's some other programs as well, like our natural resources program, animal grooming, our veterinary assistant program. But there is definitely skewed to the trades. And then if you go across the island over to Corner Brook, we have another multi-program campus there, which has both trades and the applied learning programs. So there's a beautiful mix there. And then in addition to that, we have 12 satellite sites where we focus heavily on adult basic education, which is high school for adults. And we offer those in our St. John's and Corner Brook sites as well. But we also have these 12 sites. So we're as far north as Nain. And we are also active in some communities like Nain. You can access by plane during winter, so there's logistical things going on there. We're running adult basic education in Natwashish as well as, and we're also doing some trades training in the community of Natwashish as well. So it's a lot of fun.
Are you doing much in online training these days?
Yes, we are. So we've actually been providing online education since 2015 is when we had our first class. And that was part of a project that we were working with our provincial government with for apprenticeship trades training. It was quite the introduction to online to do it with our trades cohort who not everybody really thought it was for them. So it was a good trial by fire to make sure you're developing online learning in a way that makes sense for people that work with their hands, which is what happened. And we still offer online learning to this day, and we're actively working on just continuing to develop and refine our product with that. It's exciting, and I really enjoy it.
Talk to me about the skilled trades, because you've got a unique career college place there in Newfoundland and Labrador. I'm looking out at the port here with you, and I'm guessing you got graduates working out here.
We do. You never know who's going to pop up and say, "Oh, I went to Academy Canada. I'm a graduate," and that's a lot of fun. We have graduated more than 40,000 people since 1985. So
Wow.
not everybody stays in.
That
it's
number
a lot.
surprised me. That surprised me.
Yeah, surprised. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of folks do stay in the province, sometimes near their home communities, and some do travel all over the world. So both in trades and in non-trades. So trades training, we embarked on that in 2000. And the applied learning programs that are not trades, we've had those operating since 1985. So there's people all over the place. And sometimes people also will encounter them with training when they're on the apprenticeship pathway. So they've already completed their pre-employment trades program, which tends to be 9 months duration. And then they have a year's work experience. And then they come back for shorter blocks of training, like 6 weeks or 8 weeks long. So they may have gone to the public college for some of their training at College of the North Atlantic. And we have a lot of partnerships with that college. and then they'll come with us for 6 weeks. So sometimes our graduates are with us for a shorter period than others, but you never know who you're going to run into. And sometimes I'm related to them. I've discovered like, oh, my cousin's doing steam fitter, pipe fitter. What are you doing here? Amazing. So that's
So you're
Newfoundland for
telling
you,
me
though.
there's love ladies running around this island everywhere?
No, Lovelady
Different
is an
name.
import. That's an import.
You're an import
Absolutely.
name.
A
Okay.
lot of Newfoundland women will relate to this. If there's any Newfoundlanders listening to the podcast, it's kind of a joke that we travel abroad and we tend to bring our husbands home because once they see Newfoundland, they really want to make their life here. And that's what happened to me. And I'm definitely not the only one. I just found a husband with a funny last name.
Well, I've got a kinship for this place, having done a lot of work here and been around here a lot. It is an incredible place. And I can see why people want to stick it out. And you've had a hell of a mild winter too. There's no snow on the ground out here. There's
Yeah.
almost no snow. It's weird.
It is weird, and I did manage to get a little bit of skiing in, like cross country and downhill skiing, but there's a lot of ice, so you got to make sure your skis are sharp around here on the East Coast.
Will you all still act this year like you're tougher and better than the rest of us, though? And just claim that it was a harder winter? Will you
What do
still
you mean
try and keep
act?
up those appearance? Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not
Well
sure.
played.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Well played. I've got more snow in Ottawa than you've got here. So let's keep going. I wanted to get back to the trades a little bit. What are the kinds of trades that are in the colleges that you're operating? Because you are a little unique here.
Yeah, sure. So there is another independent, regulated career college in Newfoundland that's offering trades in the province. That's a member of our provincial association, and they're in Lewisport. They're fabulous. Track Technical Institute, and they offer some trades programming there. And Academy Canada, we offer. It's not all construction trades, but there is a chunk of construction trades. So you got carpenter, welder, steam fitter, pipe fitter, plumber, electrician, but, and I probably missed a few, I might get in trouble, but also we have automotive service technician, auto body repair, which has a new name now. And we're not going to worry about that. I'm in the flow. Motor vehicle, I think body and paint. Yeah. And they're all accredited. So my teams are flat out making sure that like we're not only regulated, we're also accredited. And in order to meet accreditation standards, not only do you have to operate with high quality, you have to demonstrate that to someone else who comes in to look at it. And that's a different level again of work to provide the evidence on top of the practice. So yeah, there's about 15 different accreditation cycles on the go at any one time with our trades.
What I just heard was a whole bunch of high demand jobs. If I
Oh,
was to go
yes.
online right now, every one of those skills you were talking about, there's a job waiting at the far end.
Absolutely. Well, everything that we provide, we offer. Graduates can expect a reasonable shot at getting a great job in their career. And we do track student employment. And if it does dip at all, we want to know why. And we peel back the layers of the onion to figure that out. It doesn't serve us to offer training that doesn't give someone a reasonable shot at a job. And you're right, trades are particularly a high demand. And there's a number of other programs as well, early childhood education, personal care attendant, all of these supply chain and logistics, it's name it, anything to do with payroll. There's a lot of demand for all of our programs. Really, a lot of employers get in touch with us looking for people, and they're already accounted for. They're already working. So sometimes I'm like, well, we can put you on the list, and the next cohort will graduate at this period, and maybe then you can take them on for their work term, and that often rolls into work.
And I was just going to say that part, the work term, it's amazing how often those work placements lead to employment. It's almost a 6-month or a 9-month job interview, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's a form of work integrated learning, which we've been doing since inception. And it's interesting when you look at different novel ways of educating, it's a case of, wait a minute, we've been doing this for years
Oh, thank you
because
for saying it,
it
Lisa.
solves the problem,
I hear this every time at conferences. We got to look towards work integrated learning. And all I
Yeah.
think about is the colleges that I've gotten to know. That's what they've all been doing forever, right down to the healthcare programs, right? Where you're in a ward. A great story with a personal support worker in Ontario and I got talking to one of the people in the care homes that was working with this student I followed. And the conversation immediately turned to, it's a job interview while they're here. And really all we're tracking for, they've got the skills when they get here. We prove the skills in real life, but we're really working on empathy and seeing if that's the kind of person we'd want to have here taking care of someone's grandmother. It was really interesting to see that. So I chuckle when people talk about this need to move towards what we've been doing for decades.
Yeah, and they're right. That is important. The work integrated aspect is where so much of the on the ground, this is it, this is really happening, and you're having to apply what you've learned in the classroom to a situation right in front of you. It's so informative. It helped me as well in my journey when I was a student myself. Like it really is a wonderful way to learn.
Okay, perfect segue to one of the questions I ask everybody. And I know that you've listened to every episode, so you know what the two questions are. We're going to start with, what is a skill that has made Lisa Lovelady successful? And did you get it early in life and you had it? I've always had the gift to talk. Walk into any situation. I've always been able to get comfortable with people and be open to talk to them about anything. But what is a skill that's made Lisa successful? And did you have it or develop it?
That's a good question. And yes, I should have had something ready because I have listened to an awful lot of the podcasts. I
I know
really
you
enjoyed
have.
them.
You've commented.
I have. And I also, you may not know, I do send emails to folks that I know from conferences over the years. And just to send them a note to say it was fabulous and what I particularly liked about it, because
Wonderful.
it actually helped me agree so quickly to do this today, because I know that so many people have done it, and it gave me the extra confidence to have a go. So here I am, even though you stole my joke at the beginning. It's fine. It's
It's
fine.
funny you say that. While you think of what that skill set is, one of the ones that was interesting was when I interviewed Peter Mansbridge. We used to have these interviews all well prepared out with questions, and now we don't. And he said, drop the questions, have a conversation. Don't send me notes. And we talked for a while. Then he came and spoke at our conference. We just talked. And he said, that's when you get something out of somebody. So you've got a skill, Lisa. What do you think what it is that makes you successful?
Sure. So I do have a confidence when it comes to public speaking. You know that. I'm willing to take risks and to suffer the cringing moments. I found that it tends to be only me that really remembers the cringy stuff, and others remember the good bits. And better things happen when you give things a shot. Like, that's when you really discover things work out pretty well anyway, so you might as well give things a shot. I had a early exposure to a lot of theater, and I had thought perhaps I would have a career on the stage, actually, singing and acting. And I had movie interviews and looking to get an agent and looking to, go down that path. And I'm from a working class family, and they were terrified, and they thought, well, perhaps you could try university because you happen to have all A's. That's cool. So I did not pursue theater, but public speaking I have developed the skill at an early age through a lot of involvement with choir, drama, theater, and it helped. But it's definitely scarier when it's yourself and you're not acting in a role. So it helps, but practice really is the only cure for nerves, is to just keep practicing, and it does get easier.
I'm always encouraging people who don't have that to try the Toastmasters. It works. Try one of those programs where you're just forced to get up and talk about something. I was fortunate. I had a Jesuit training, Jesuit high school. I'm not Catholic myself, but we were able to, my brother and I went to a Jesuit high school, and they challenged you, and they put you up in front of the room and you had to go. You had to talk. And that I know was a good education preparation. And one of the things, and it's a bit of an awkward segue, but our colleges are really good at teamwork, team training, team learning, which I think makes them more successful when they get to work inside a work environment. They've got those skill sets on how to collaborate, the soft skills.
Yes, or perhaps durable skills. In a time where technology seems to be shifting technical skills very quickly, soft skills are, I think, a bit of a misnomer. I think that was something that happened, I believe it was the U.S. Armed Forces had designated as soft skills, but now there's been a shift. And soft implies there's a sort of a value judgment around it that I know you don't feel that way, but they're durable skills. So being able to connect, being able to take the time to listen, to understand.
Sorry, what was that?
Instead of I know, right? It's hard. You're getting better though. I'm really proud of your progress. Yeah. Yeah. All that good stuff. So yeah, I probably haven't answered the question specifically enough. So I will
No,
say
I think you have.
absolutely.
No, I think you have, and it also gave us a chance to talk a little bit about what goes on inside one of our colleges. Every time I take a tour of a college, it's a group of 5 or 6 students in a corner working on something, and they might just be helping each other. And I know you'll see that in the community college, you know, you'll see that in universities, but we also see it in the workplace during those placements where they're being forced to work with the people on the ground and get those skills developed around teamwork. So I think it's one of those things that gets lost about our sector with the smaller class sizes and the more agile, nimble processes that we work under.
The whole idea of working in groups to have better outcomes than you could ever achieve on your own is how good businesses work as well. So it's definitely a valuable skill because I do believe if you do it correctly, you'll achieve more together than you ever would on your own. And it's a great skill set. Takes a lot of patience though, and good listening skills. So I'm glad you're getting better at it, Michael. I'm proud of you.
So I walk into, well played, one of your competitors. Don't talk about your own college. And I mean, don't name the college, but pick a college in Newfoundland and Labrador. And I'm a student. I walk in the front door. Why should I go to that college? Because I think there's a commonality amongst things in career colleges.
And I have had the absolute privilege and pleasure of visiting a great number of our career colleges in Newfoundland and Labrador. And every time, no matter what the school, you walk in and you know that here are people that care about me. There are people here that are going to know very quickly who I am, and I am going to be remembered here.
That's a good
Just
answer.
Being cared about. It's tangible.
Not a number, a first name.
Yeah.
Not a student number, 18,492.
Yeah.
Lisa, who came to learn. So
yeah. Lisa chose to come here and they're happy that I came here. I'm still going to be held to high standards and have to do my bit, but I'm going to have the supports if I need them. People care about me here.
before I get to a wrap up question about this province, I got to go to one of the ones we ask everybody. Talk to me about a mentor, somebody who made a difference in your life, because we like to highlight this because we think it's not only a part of what our colleges are about, it's just such an important part of a role we can all play no matter where we are. We could mentor a fellow student. We can mentor a student. We can mentor a boss at times. So you could be a good mentor and a bad mentor too. So do you have a great mentor that made a difference to you?
I do. I've been fortunate to have a number of mentors along the way, and I still do have mentors because I'm still very much actively navigating my own career. I'd like to highlight my former boss, Andrea Barrett, and she has been such an incredible mentor for me because she was my boss. She was also vice president of Academy Canada, and I looked up to her in terms of, I literally told her, I want your job. I don't want you to get fired, but I want your job, and I want you to, if you move on to a higher role, please consider me, So I was very much like the donkey in Shrek going, pick me, pick me. And so, as part of the mentoring process, she helped me to calm down, like you don't go at it so hard. You don't want to put anyone off sort of thing, But it wasn't necessarily through active mentoring. A lot of it was just observation. So here is a working mom who is volunteering and working at a high standard, leading people. So it was someone to emulate and look up to, and I'm grateful for that. And to this day, I count on her as a friend, and we do chat from time to time. She's enjoying retirement, and we're still connected. And we don't actually talk about work anymore, but she's helped me, I think, more than she could ever know. So thanks for the opportunity to give her a shout out, because that's, she's a pretty special lady.
I always ask the question, but does she know that she's a mentor to you?
She's going to find out because I'm going to tell her I gave her a shout out. So I hope it makes the edit.
It's funny how many people have said, actually, I'm not sure the person knows what they meant to me and they shared the podcast with.
Well, I wrote her a letter. I did. On her retirement, I did write her a letter, and I put it into words as best I could. But, I don't mind saying it again.
Give me the Newfoundland and Labrador finishing remarks. What's going on in this province right now with the Hydro-Quebec project up north and the economic development, the things that are going on here that people don't realize. And what's the tourism pitch? Like I've been lucky to be here a lot. It's pretty incredible, isn't it?
I am so glad we're able to raise our children here, myself and my husband. We've got 2 kids, and they're growing up in Newfoundland and Labrador, and it's humongous. If you enjoy just being out in nature and having just this wild and rugged and a little bit scary spot, in terms of the nature and the weather, and it just stills your soul. And that sounds really cheesy, but I don't care. It fills your soul. This morning, the sun was rising, and it was this like red beam. Just it was the most incredible sunrise ever, and I could see it all in my backyard because I have a humongous panoramic view, and I can see the ocean and mountains and forest. So for me, that feeds my soul. Even if I might get minor frostbite when I go out for a short run in the morning, which may have happened this morning, it's just gorgeous. And the people are all right. We like to have a laugh and a bit of fun, and there is a kindness to people who live here in Newfoundland and Labrador, and that is a real thing. And I hope it's on everyone's bucket list to come check it out.
It really should be. And I give the advice I give my friends when they're coming here. You rent the car, then you book the hotel room, and then you get the flight. Because the car is often the hardest thing to find on the rock.
Yeah, it
So,
is.
well, anything, a last message you want to get across today before we head out? I'd like to see if people have a thought or something they want to mention about their college, the sector, anything at all.
Well, you did ask me 2 questions, and I answered the second one. So the first one was something. I should answer the first question, I suppose. So there's tons going on. I already said, like, we have employers calling us up and saying, like, do you have any supply chain logistics people? Well, we need more. Do you have any carpenters? We need more, et cetera. So there's definitely opportunities here, and they are in a wide range of occupational areas. It is an amazing place to live and work and raise a family. It does feel safe. There are opportunities, and it looks like the future is amazing, and we need to be ready for it. And we're going to need more people to come here to bring their skills so we can get these amazing opportunities actually become reality, because you need workers to do that.
Well, and that's a huge problem we got coming. I always use the Statistics Canada bullet. We were at 7 workers for every retiree. We're about to be 2 for every retiree in 2030.
And that's just
so we got a real
retirees,
problem.
not about new projects, right?
Yeah.
So
we got a real problem. We need to look
we're
at
going to
immigration.
become more diverse. I do see immigration absolutely having to play a role with this, and that is a welcome thing for me. And also training up the next generation. So we've got good succession plans so things can happen smooth. That's what we're hoping for.
There's a certain irony of a more diversity in the most unique province in the country. You people are unique. There's no doubt about it. And a great welcoming group of people. And it's my pleasure to have you on here today. We've worked closely together. You've been a leader in the sector, a leader for the provincial association. But what I'm most intrigued with all the things that are going on in the province, you colleges all work well with the College of the North Atlantic and MUN. There's a lot of partnership that goes on, but even amongst the colleges, people are trying to figure out the way through just to get the work done to make sure you guys have the workforce in this province that's needed. And we didn't even touch healthcare today, really. The training that's going on around the whole healthcare sector.
Yeah. No, we're grateful. I'm grateful to have so many amazing professionals in all these different educational institutions in the regulated career college sector, in the public sector, at the university. So it's never been better in terms of collaboration in this province, and the timing, I mean, it had to happen. So I'm just grateful it's happening.
Well, I'll wrap the episode up there. It's been an interesting week. I'm in St. John's, but yesterday I was in Halifax getting off the HMCS St. John's, where I spent 2 days out at sea with the Royal Canadian Navy.
Oh, amazing.
Having a great time. And we were out there with a couple of people from Henry Devlin from Summit 2 Education and a couple of people from the Nova Scotia Community College. And we were talking about their education in the mess room and the things, and talking about what the Navy needs and the opportunities that are going on. So it is such a neat little connection here to get off the HMCS, get on PAL Airlines last night. Then I used to work at PAL Aerospace, fly over to St. John's, spend the time with you guys, and now tonight be able to present to some of you a King's Coronation Medal for your service. We say to the sector, but it's really to the students. It's really to the community. And so, Lisa, thank you for joining us today. And with that, we will wrap up the 49th episode, which makes me think I got to find something for next week. Spectacular. But how do I beat Lisa for the 50th episode? But with that, I will sign off for this week. And I look forward to everybody having a chance to join us on the 50th episode of the Ed Up Canada podcast. Thanks, Lisa.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Ed Up Canada podcast. We release new episodes regularly, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you know when they are officially out. If you love this episode, please leave a 4 or 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcasts so that others can also discover how a set of skills can lead to success. Thanks for learning with us.